So, Valhalla, the Dawn of Ragnarok DLC, is it worth buying for the 40 quid? I know it's been out a couple of months, but I've only just got around to finishing it. The videos will keep coming up. I'll drop one every couple of days or something for it, but I just block recorded it all. Is it worth buying? I'd say no. Me personally, because I didn't like the whole Asgard bit of Valhalla itself, so to have a full DLC that's the same as the Asgard stuff with slight differences, like the Hooga Rip, I think that's the only good thing about it, the Hooga Rip. But I just don't think it's worth it. I only bought it because I'm a type of person who doesn't like to leave a story unfinished. Same reason I bought all the DLCs for this and Odyssey, because I don't like to see stories unfinished. It's definitely not worth the 40 quid, or was it 40 odd dollars when it came out, and it's still the same price now. Because when it first came out, there was a whole big thing going on about it, that it wasn't meant to be just like a DLC. It wasn't going to be like a 4, 5, 6 hour DLC. There was rumours going around that it was going to be like a brand new game, 40 hours and all that. Well, it's not. I finished it in about 7 hours, and that was just with me messing about as well. If I'd have done it, if I'd have just gone hell for leather and flew through it, it'd probably took me 5 or 6. But so does that. It's not worth the 40 quid for that reason alone. It's an 8 to 10 hour DLC maximum. I think the Wrath of Druids was about the same length, maybe a little bit shorter, but the Wrath of Druids was more enjoyable to play. The Dawn of Ragnarok, I mean, it's the same as what I said in the other video, why I thought Odyssey was better than Valhalla, because in Odyssey, you can see Cassandra's emotions in her face. You can't in Valhalla with Eivor, but they've tried it. They've tried to give her emotions when she finds Baldur's dead body, or he, depending on how you're playing it, and it just doesn't work. It just does not work at all. If you're going to want to buy it, I'd wait until it comes down in price, until the DLC is worth like a tenner, something like that, 10 to 15 quid, 15 to 20 dollars, whatever the conversion is. I wouldn't buy it for the 40 quid because it's not worth the £40 that you pay for it. It's, like I said, maximum 8 to 10 hours DLC. I finished it even quicker, but I was just messing about. If I'd just flew through the story, I didn't bother with all the collectibles. If I'd just flew through the story, I'd have probably got it done in 5 or 6. But it's not that good a game. Valhalla itself, if you take away all the Asgard's crap in it, Valhalla is a good game. Still trying a bit too hard to be an Assassin's Creed game, even though we all know it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be an Assassin's Creed game, but it's still trying too hard, whereas Odyssey didn't. You still had the secret cults and all that, but you didn't have the hidden blades, you didn't have to do all the stealth. Do you know what I mean? And when you did, the stealth worked. Now they fixed that on Valhalla with the last patch. So you get the tiered alert system. When you're spotted by one enemy, you're not spotted by every single enemy in the whole game, basically. But I just don't think it's worth it. When I got to the end of it, I was disappointed that I'd spent 40 quid on a DLC that, when I come to the end of it. I mean, like with the Hidden Blade and Wrath of Druids and the Siege of Paris, at the end of it, I wasn't disappointed. At the end of all the other DLCs I've played over the past couple of months, whether it be on Valhalla or Odyssey, I haven't been disappointed. I've thought, yeah, well, that was a decent add to the game. That was something that should have been there from the off. Yeah, you got to pay a couple of quid for them. That's the way it's going now, isn't it? But when I finished Ragnarok and eventually killed Sutra, or Sutra, however you pronounce his name, I was like, is that it? Are you messing? Is that it? I was so disappointed when I got to the end of it, because, like I said, I was in like 6, maybe 7 hours in. Maximum, I think it was about 6-7 hours. And I'm thinking, what was all that? This was meant to be a 40-hour DLC. It's just like a brand new game. But it's not. It's like, if you're not bothered about collecting all the collectibles and doing all the mysteries and all that stuff, it'd probably take you 4.5, 5 hours to fly through the story. The main story of it. It's just not worth it at all. If you're going to buy it, I'd wait until it comes down in price, maybe next year, till it comes down to about 10 quid, 10 to 15 quid, whatever the equivalent in dollars is, $15 to $20, let's just say. But I definitely wouldn't pay full price for it. If I'd have known it was going to be as short as it is, and it was going to be as lackluster as it is, there's no, I don't know, it just doesn't even feel like it was made by the same people. Sounds weird, but if you play it, you'll get what I mean. It's a bit hit and miss, it's a bit everywhere. I don't know. I still can't fathom why they thought that 40 quid or 40 odd dollars was the perfect price for this DLC. I mean, yeah, if it would have been a 40-hour DLC, that's just like buying a brand new game, then yeah, possibly it could have been. But now that I've finished it, I don't think they could have dragged it out to 40 hours. There would have just been, all them, the type of missions that gamers hate in all types of games, not just Assassin's Creed games, but in GTA, Red Dead Redemption, all the story-driven games, the type of missions that all gamers hate is the filler missions, the fluff missions, the missions that have nothing to do with the actual story. There would have been too many of them, and everyone would have just got pissed off after a couple of hours and thought, fuck this, it's not worth it. And that's probably why they've only done it as short as it is, because they thought, we really can't drag this out any longer. But I don't know. We've got Rift coming, possibly the end of this year, so let's see if they listen to what the fans want and they go back to how the original Assassin's Creed game where you had to be an assassin. I mean, with this and Odyssey as well, you didn't have to sneak in anywhere. You could literally just go in and hack and slash your way through enemy bases, and it made no difference. And bring back when the decisions you make in the game, when you've got the dialogue and you've got 3 options or 4 options, like they did with the flighting. The flighting decisions made a difference because you were either a good fighter or a not so good fighter. Do you know what I mean? But make the decisions in the main story when you have that dialogue and you've got 3 or 4 options to pick from. Make them actually matter. Make them have an impact on the rest of the game from that point on. Because in Valhalla, I think it's like 2 options out of all the options you get of the dialogue, you get to choose what you say. That's not flighting, obviously. Out of all the options you get, I think it's 2, maybe 3 of them that actually have an impact on the game. or have an impact on the story, should I say. Every single one should have an impact on how the story plays out from that point, so that every time you play that game, you can pick a different option and your story will lead in a different way. Do you know what I mean? There might be a different mission for each option. Do you know what I mean? Make the game like that so that people will replay them. Because the only way I'm going to replay Valhalla is if and when we get the New Game Plus. So you can start from scratch, keep all your gear, keep all your abilities, keep all your fucking PowerPoints. That's the only way I'm going to replay this. And I'm only going to replay it so I can replay it on the hardest setting and see how hard it is with all my stuff. But if you make the decisions in the dialogue, what you get to choose, actually have an impact on how the game carries on from that point, and each different option leads to a different mission or a different objective, then people will want to replay them again and again and again. But at the minute with Valhalla,
here are some matches. Which one do you want?
None. Shut up. Why's my PlayStation going nuts?
I found these for you. Which one do you want?
None of them. Shut up.
I'm not sure what you mean.
Shut up.
Number of your selection is 7.
I have to literally shout at your PS to shut up when it keeps popping up with games that you don't want to play on the corner. Third world problems, eh? Yeah, so I don't think it's any good at all. I mean, the story was I'd say average if I was being generous. The story itself was average. They've not changed, well, they've tried to change Eivor's emotions, the way you see Eivor's emotions. It didn't work at all. Eivor is a sociopath, has no feelings and no emotions. That's the way I'm seeing this game. An emotion for sad and happy, or sad and angry, is the same. It makes no difference, it's the same. But yeah, if you're going to buy it, I'd wait until the DLC price comes down, because it is not worth the 40 quid what they're charging us at the minute. 40 quid for a 8 to 10 max hours DLC if you want to get all the collectibles and that. Not worth it. Wait a year, let it come down in price, then if you want it, get it. But I thought it was going to be better than it was, and it's just absolutely disappointed me. I'm more disappointed in myself for actually paying for it and not waiting, but there's no other games out that I want to play, so I had to, really. But it's still disappointing. It's not a very good DLC. I think the other DLCs, what we got, the Siege of Paris and Wrath of the Druids, I think that the Wrath of the Druids was my favourite, and they were both a million times better than Dawn of Ragnarok. Dawn of Ragnarok was just another way to, I know, we're not bringing a brand new game out just yet, let's just still keep getting the money in. That's all it is. It's just a money making scam. Not a scam. It's just a way of getting money out of you, because it's the new game, and all the young kids will be like, oh, I need that DLC so they can go to school or college and tell their mates, oh, I've played Dawn of Ragnarok. That's the only thing they've done it for. It's not a very good add-on. It's not in the slightest. But that's just my opinion. If you want to play Dawn of Ragnarok, either go around to your mate's house who's already got it, or wait for the price to come down, because it is not worth 40 quid or 40 odd dollars, wherever you are in the world. It's not worth it. If you pay full price for it, you will be highly disappointed, I guarantee you. But that's just my opinion. Anyway, I'll catch you in a bit, and hope you're all well.